The first one up is a stock Traxxas Slash two-wheel drive. It has the stock tires. Now these are the wrong tires for carpets. As you can see, it does slide, but because it's high CG and it slides, it's good enough. You're not going to traction roll because you're always going to be losing traction on the rear, so you're not going to roll. But this is what a stock truck will handle like. It is about $200 US for a Slash, stock Slash, which is good enough if you're just getting started and you're doing a rookie class, for example. You can bash with this truck out on the pavement, you know, many terrains, but then you could also go to a track from time to time and just practice. Right now, this is just a practice session, so it's open to all. This is what a high CG will handle. Again, it's the wrong tires for the setup. You really want to run pins. That's what people tend to use, and toward the end of the video you're going to see me running pins on an LCG. High CG, you do not want to run pins, to be honest, unless you really slow down, because you will be rolling over, and you're going to see that with the LCG when I put pins on the LCG. So this is the high CG. Coming up next is the same thing, but LCG. This is the LCG now. So the tires are the same. I actually use the same exact tires. It's the same body. That's why the truck looks the same. But this has an LCG chassis. Now, right now, it is the driver more than the truck. One of the things with the LCG, because it's LCG, you're going to notice the rear tends to spin out quite a bit, but it works. Again, with better tires, it will run better. But this is the LCG. LCG is generally going to run you maybe about $40 depending on where you go. I've seen the kits for about $36 US. But here's the truck. This is what it handles. Again, these are the wrong tires for carpet. This is just to show you the difference between the two trucks just by replacing the chassis, going with an LCG. But it's still fun. So if you're planning on buying an RC, maybe it's your first hobby grade RC, Traxxas Slash is a good RC to go with, mainly because of parts availability. There's other brands out there. There's other short course trucks that will perform a lot better, but they tend to be more expensive. But if you want something around the let's say $250 range, assuming you do a different chassis, this is a way to go. Now, the driver has a lot to do with the driving, but here's the truck. You know, it's doing well. Again, if you're entering a rookie class, this would be great. This is probably not something you use at a very high competitive level, and it's not necessarily because of the truck, because some people do very good with Slashes. It's because of the tires. It's simply the wrong tires. But again, this is a comparison. Close to stock as possible. This is just replacing the chassis with a low center of gravity chassis. Now here, well, that jumped over a mile. Let's see here. See, that was a lot better. So the truck does jump well just by replacing the LCG. And you have the, you know, you can keep the same shocks, it'll do well. But as I mentioned before, you may want to replace them. Right, and the next bit coming up is the same truck. It's just a different driver. So here we go. Now we have a different driver. Same truck, same tires, same shocks. Much nicer jump there on that one. And again, the truck jumps well, so you don't have to go and invest, say, $600, $1,000 on a vehicle just to have fun. Eventually, you may want to make that investment once you start getting a little bit more competitive into racing. But if you're just, you know, getting your feet wet, you can just do an LCG. Or you can do a ProTrac build such as this. This is actually my preferred build when it comes to a short course based off of a Slash platform. So you still have a Traxxas LCG, but the suspension arms, the turnbuckle links, front and rear shock towers, those are all part of the ProTrac. Now, I do have the Traxxas aluminum caster blocks, which are a must. Those you need to replace for sure. But one of the nice things about the ProTrac is the rear carriers are more robust, so you don't have to worry about replacing those. They come in a kit. The ones that come in a kit are great. But here we have the truck with the same body, same tires as the previous two, and you can see how this one just jumps and lands. This is actually my preferred setup, like I mentioned. It is going to be a little more expensive. The ProTrac, ProLine ProTrac kit is generally about $65, and it comes with the suspension arms, all 4 of them, the new turnbuckle links, because the suspension arms, I believe they are about a centimeter longer. I did do another video, another review, but I can't remember at this time. Now, just for fun, I'm going to put pins on the truck so you can see the difference, and there's quite a difference now if you just replace the tires. So again, here we go, these are pins, and you're going to notice something completely different. The wheels are white, so that's how you can tell in the videos, versus the silver wheels, which were stock. So these are pins, and they are by ProLine. So again, jumps well, ProTrac very good. And in a bit, after the straight, you will notice what one of the differences are the differences that we have here. And there we go, traction roll. So that's one of the differences. That's the reason why I did not put pins on the high CG. High CG is just going to tumble and roll. It's really a bad idea to put pins on a high CG. But here we go. So the truck does well. Again, this is practice, so if you're wondering why the driver cut the track, it's just practice. The point here is just to show you how it turns, how it takes the jumps, and how it drives. So pins are really the way to go if you have a truck that you want to run on carpet, but you will have to use that LCG. I don't have the footage with the high CG. There's no point. It's just a video of the truck being flipped back over because it keeps flipping over, keeps traction rolling. So high CG, you'll get away with it with the stock tires, but once you get the proper tires for carpet, it's not going to run. But notice how, in relationship to the buggies now, it's doing well. Well, up until that point. That's driver error. But that's something to look at, whereas if you go back to the beginning of the video and you compare it to other vehicles, it was not doing so well. But now, it's doing well. It's not faster than the buggies. It's not going to, right? It's a heavier vehicle, higher center of gravity. Buggies are a completely different class, but it is doing well. So just notice the truck, how it does in relationship to the buggies. Now that was too long of a jump, over jumped it by about a mile. I don't know what that was, but here we go. So look at those buggies and just look at the truck, and it does well. So if you want something with parts availability, this is another option. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment and subscribe.
What? Oh, my hair! My tongue! My rod!